Da-na-na, da-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na, dun, 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 dun. Whatever.
I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
Okay, well, this is Air, directed by Ben Affleck. Yet again, another collaboration between lifelong best friends. They came up together, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Produced by David Ellison, who is head of Skydance, which is behind like a lot of big franchises, Mission Impossible, etc. Son of billionaire Larry Ellison. His sister Megan Ellison runs Annapurna, which I worked on a show that was under Annapurna not too long ago. I just went to one of the premieres, Dead Ringers. I worked in the production office for that one. And Air stars loaded cast, honestly. You have Ben Affleck, Matt Damon as the lead. You have Chris Tucker. I'm glad he's resurfacing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Marlon Wayans for like 1 minute. And Patrick Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
Every time I would say his name, and I'm a fan too. Every time I get on his name, I always get Patrick Bateman because that's one of my favorite movie characters. I was like, Bateman, like, okay, but yeah, Jason Bateman. Oh, and also Chris Messina from the Mini Project. He played Jordan's agent, and of course Viola Davis played Jordan's mother. Air is about pretty much around the time that Air Jordan was pitched and was invented and pitched to Michael Jordan. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Air is pretty much the guys who worked at Nike when Nike was a shit house for like basketball. They were completely like in the gutter. Like all the big players were Adidas and Converses and all these other companies, and Nike was at the bottom of the barrel in terms of basketball. And this dude, Sonny Vaccaro, played by Matt Damon, pretty much we saw Jordan, knew this guy was different, knew something about him, knew this guy was the man, was it. He was it. He put it all in line. And they pretty much they did something that was never done before, which was invent a sneaker line, as you know, for a player, and a rookie at that. Never done before. People get sponsored by sneaker companies, and you get sneakers, and maybe some customs, but never a sneaker line dedicated to that person. And on top of that, giving them revenue, giving them percentage of the revenue from the sneaker line.
Mm-hmm.
It's making Jordan easy one of the richest basketball players of all time. And this is pretty much like a dark comedy, I guess. A drama, but grounded in comedic elements. So I'll say it's like a dark comedy, like a dramedy, but mainly a drama, but some comedic elements because, of course, you have a lot of funny people in this movie, like Marlon Wayans, Chris Tucker, Jason Bateman. You know what I mean? So, and Matt Damon, everyone in this movie pretty much had great comedic timing for sure.
Yeah. I feel like everyone has at least like one kind of funny moment.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon yet again has done another movie which pretty much every scene is talking, and they managed to make it somewhat entertaining. I liked it, and I'm into basketball, and Jordan is such a big part of like especially black culture. Like, and not only that Jordan was part of Nike's, Jordan's kind of went and became like its own brand, which no other player had literally their own sneaker brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, and my thing would have been more interesting to cover that part of it, like, once they make the deal, because they established a whole bunch of things that they would have to pay fines because the colorways of the sneakers was literally, like, against NBA regulations. Like, NBA only went for, like, pretty much mostly white, and it did in red and black mainly because it matched the Bulls' colors.
Also made him stand out a lot amongst the crowd.
Yeah, of course. That was the whole point of it. But like, the fact that that's interesting, and that'd have been cool to see how they actually got themselves to making $169 million in first year in sales.
I agree.
Insane.
The movie would have been way better if it focused more on that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the whole like incubation part of it. It was interesting. You know what I mean? And it's risky because this company's about to fail. They're putting everything on the line. I like seeing movies that are about risk. You know what I mean? That's what makes the plot thicken. That's what keeps the eyes on the screen. Because like with these guys, you know what I mean? Like, where these guys pull it off, but obviously because you know how it happens, especially if you get to basketball, you kind of know how it happens.
Yeah.
So you kind of see an origin story of sorts.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of tension in the movie because of that.
I
You
mean,
kind of know
the
how
movie
it
still has
is.
tension, but because you know that, things are gonna be okay. What makes it interesting to me is really just like the characters. All the characters were pretty much fun, and all of them bounced off each other really well. The performances, I mean, that's what you expect when you have an all-star cast. So like all the performances will bounce really well. Nobody overacted. It was pretty fun. All of them had great comedic timing, and they had decent dramatic beats, and it was just overall good tone. It was just a good vibe. The movie was a good vibe. I see why people like it, and it's good for what it is. But it could have been a lot better simply because they could have told another aspect of the story. They probably could have incorporated Michael Jordan into it instead of making him just like pretty much like he's there, but as Nick said to me yesterday, pretty much a prop, which he kind of was. I don't know if it hurts the movie because I know the movie's not about Michael Jordan, the man himself. But it would have been cool to see him making that decision because the decision was his just as much as it was his mother, So
Yeah.
But I guess because we know who Michael Jordan is, we don't want to distract the people, or maybe they didn't get the rights to him. I don't know. I don't know around that. I think it'll help the film even more because it'll put some pressure on the person that did help to sneak around too. Because he didn't like Jordan. He wanted to go to Adidas. So I'm like, he should have been part of the ensemble, in my opinion.
I agree.
Along with his mother.
I completely agree.
And then it'll open up scenes with him and his mother to have those moments. And then especially when the mother's like, yo, Jordan should have been behind this decision just as much as his mother to be like, yo, we're doing what no one's ever done. A rookie, not only we're getting our own sneaker line, on top of that, we're getting proceeds.
Yes.
Which no other company's never ever going to offer. And I love the scene with Chris Messina. Between Chris Messina and Matt Damon over the phone, excellent. Funny as shit.
I feel like this is a movie where you really should just go in for the cast. If you're down for just watching a bunch of people just act very good off each other and you don't really care much else, you just want like a good time, this movie can really just hands down just settle that for you. Like you can just watch it and have a good time. But as like a dramatic story, I honestly for most of this movie I really felt like I couldn't get invested in it. There's a lot of dialogue that's very cringy and corny. Like you see prime examples of this in the trailer, but it happens a lot in the movie itself, and it's kind of like just takes me out of it. It makes me feel like I'm not watching what really happened. I'm very much watching the Hollywood version of what I am watching, which I shouldn't be aware that that's what's happening while I'm watching it. I feel like it's a little too silly to be taken seriously as a dramatic movie, and it's not funny enough to really call a comedy. Like it has funny moments, definitely.
That's why I call it a drama comedy, mainly a drama with comedic elements.
I know, but I'm saying I don't think either is particularly strong in the movie. I really didn't feel tension for most of this. I feel like a lot of the dialogue is very much telling me what happens and very little actually expressing the emotional weight of what's happening. The only time I really felt the weight of the actual of this decision about this risk was that one time when Jason Bateman is talking about his daughter who he barely sees because of his divorce, and how that deal could actually affect it. Yeah, that's the only time I really felt the tension, because that's the only time anything really seemed like was on the line. Like I felt the emotional stakes for that.
On the line was that the whole basketball division could go upwards and all be working that could lose their jobs. I mean, that's risk.
Yeah, but it's not like we really see anyone. It's not like we ever see any examples of people like really struggling, or that
the movie's not perfect. You know what I mean? Could have done more.
Because honestly,
the problem is the movie that didn't add enough. They kind of kneecap themselves.
Absolutely,
and that's where the biggest struggle is.
Absolutely.
But the bits I did see, I enjoyed enough to not call this a good movie, the bad movie. I think this is a good movie. It just could have been a lot more added to it. In my opinion, this movie is getting great reviews. It deserves it, but maybe 93 maybe is a little too much. I wouldn't put on that level. I'll probably give this, me personally, I'll probably give it like an 82, 83. What about you?
I'm giving this like a 72.
Okay.
I think it's definitely, I'm not gonna go as far as say it's all that bad, but I wouldn't say it's particularly good either. It has a lot of good aspects, but it has a lot of silliness that is kind of this.
I mean, it has some crazy moments, like the whole moment where they did a zoom in. It's in the trailers too. They did a whole zoom in, and they were like, and Matt Damon's character, Sonny Vaccaro, he was like, well, somebody asked him, oh, the dude that was making the sneakers. He was like, the dude that's making the sneakers. He was like, oh, who's this for? And then they did a whole zoom in, like, we don't know what the fuck it is for. We don't know who Michael Jordan is. Michael Jordan. Yeah, we get it. Stop being corny. Stop trying to sell tickets. Like, we get it. Stop it. Stop being a nerd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And movies do that shit. It's just so cringy. And the way they did was really cringy. Like, come on.
Yeah. And, like, this movie just has way too many scenes like that.
Yeah.
At least for me.
All right, guys. This was nice talking to you, but we gotta go.
Yeah.
I hope you like this. Let me know. Let us know if you like this movie. You can let us know in the
comments below.
comments below.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are your thoughts? And of course, like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like the review. And stay tuned for more reviews and more reactions. We'll be coming at you.
Mm-hmm. We see you next time, folks. Peace out.